Hello all YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this weather discussion for April 25th, 2020. As always, please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos if you're new to the channel. Please also consider subscribing and liking my videos as well. And also ringing the bell notifications so you never miss one of my videos again. And as always, my website is down in the description in case you ever happen to want to check it out. And today's weather poll question should be right above my head that way. Yes, that way. In top right corner of your screen should be right above my head this time. And just a weather poll question, usually every video, and just to see what you guys think about a certain weather question. Just to see what the majority think either way. It's just nice to see the results. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about Tropical Depression 1E. Okay, this is in the Pacific Ocean. We're not in the Atlantic yet. The official Pacific Ocean hurricane season actually does start 15 days earlier than the Atlantic hurricane season. The Pacific hurricane season starts May 15th, as opposed to the Atlantic is June 1st. But still, both basins can have early activity, and here is 1E right here. Maximum sustained winds are 35 miles an hour with a minimum central pressure of 1006. It's been pretty consistent. It is moving up in the latitudes though, so now its latitude is 14.5 degrees north. And the higher that number is, it's kind of moving farther to the north there. So once it starts moving north, then it's at 117 west. So it's starting to run out of that 80-degree water, so it is not likely going to form into anything tropical. It is moving northwest at 7 miles an hour, so it has slowed down a little bit. All right, so let's take a look at the track here. So even though this may not become Tropical Storm Amanda, it does have a chance. All right, it has a little chance to do it, and the chance would be right about here. So kind of like overnight is when it has its best shot. Okay, it's kind of running out of the 80-degree water. Once you head into Sunday morning, then it becomes post-tropical by Sunday evening. And it's becoming post-tropical. It's a post-tropical depression. When it's a black D like that, that means it's a tropical depression, and the white D means is a post-tropical depression. It's like post-tropical, not really tropical anymore. And why do I say that overnight it has its best shot at seeing that tropical development? Well, if you look at the tropical storm force wind probabilities, there's probabilities of seeing winds 39 miles an hour plus. You can see that yellow region right there. Okay, that means that is the 30 to 40% range, 30 to 40%. So as the storm tracks this way, okay, this is when your best shot is going to be seeing those tropical storm force winds. If it doesn't form overnight tonight, you just don't count on it being Tropical Storm Amanda. But either way, so even see a tropical depression come or form this early, it's pretty special. But when the Hurricane Center issues their outlook, you're like, well, let's say 80% chance, or it was like a red X, 80% chance of development. And why didn't it form into something big? That red X, when it says 80% chance, that usually means it has an 80% chance to form into at least a tropical depression. Okay, nothing really said it was really going to ever form into a storm. It was certainly always possible, but the chances of this becoming a tropical depression were 80%. Okay, now the models were indicating that it has some tropical storm force winds at some point, which is why I think it is still possible this could become Amanda, but like I said, it's really running out of time. If it's going to do it, it has to do it quick. All right, so this is the ship's diagnostic message. Okay, so if you go to hurricanes.ral.ucar.edu, this will actually give you like a ship's diagnostic message. This actually, I didn't know this actually had models, but this actually is a GFS version of it. So if we look at so here's the time here. All right, so let's take a look at the wind shear. All right, the wind shear, like I said, why is it running out of time? Because your wind shear now and then 6 hours from now, okay, this was from the 2 p.m. run of the GFS model today. So this is from the 2 p.m. model run. So 6 hours later means it's 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., excuse me. Like I said, it has up until 12 hours from now. Okay, so 6 hours from now would be 8 p.m. because this model was done at 2. All right, and then 6 hours after that would most likely be 2 o'clock in the morning. So it has between now and 2 o'clock in the morning to really get together, because after that, because once you get to 8 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow, the wind shear goes up to 20 knots, then it's 24, then it's up past 30. Okay, so once then it just has no really chance after that whatsoever. Also, sea surface temperatures. All right, at 2 p.m., the ocean temperatures were 27.1 degrees. All right. In the next 6 hours, which means in a couple hours from now, this ocean temperature is going to be 26.8, then 26.4 by the time we head towards 2 a.m. So it's barely hanging on to 80 degrees. Like I said, this could become a subtropical storm. Sometimes has those subtropical characteristics a little bit farther north, but most likely going to, again, stay as a depression. Storm speed, okay, that's going to be pretty much low as well, 7, 8, 9 knots the whole way through. Then it becomes 11. Then it goes up to 11 knots by about 2 days out. Also, the heat content. Look how low the heat content values are. They're next to nothing. Like if you watched last year some of my hurricane tracking videos that actually did use this kind of map, if you had heat content 40, 50, 60, that's where your good heat content is. We're next to nothing here for heat content. Like I said, we're really running out of those 80-degree waters, so probably not going to develop, but like I said, it is certainly possible. I think the chance still exists. We still have I give it like a good 20-30% chance. Okay, I am not ruling it out. But if it doesn't form in the next few hours, next 6-8 hours, it's not really going to form at all. So again, here's your maximum winds, 30 knots. So sustained winds, meaning constant winds, are 35 miles an hour. And wind gusts are 45 miles per hour, all right, which is 40 knots. Again, central pressure, 1006 millibars. And also, this is really why it's not forming either. I mean, tropical storms don't always have to have a, very tight circulation, but look at the circulation radius, 200 nautical miles. Okay, that's at least about 210, 220 miles rotation in a circle. So, I mean, this is probably all the rotation. So, and the radius of maximum wind only goes out 40, the radius of maximum wind goes out 40 nautical miles from the center. So you're talking about 45 miles out from the center of the storm. So it's not a big radius of 35 mile per hour winds. So this storm isn't very huge, obviously. All right, so let's look at the satellite loop here. Sometimes if you actually a little trick, if you speed it up, it'll help to get rid of that clocking symbol. But it is definitely rotating. Okay, I mean, this does look, it was rotating a lot better than it was before, but it just lost all of its convection. I mean, there's really nothing there. And the convection that is there, notice how it's right where the center of the storm is. All right, so that's why, I mean, it does still have some outflow, especially on the south side of it, which still has some outflow waves coming out of the storm. But like I said, the area of greatest convection is right where the center of the low pressure system is. All right, so I don't really see this becoming too big of an issue, all right, for anybody at all, actually. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I mean, it's a pretty low chances of development. Like I said, you can never rule it out. And pretty much the low pressure is pretty much sitting right up there, maybe a little bit, maybe somewhere around there. So it's just, if the convection was on the east side of it, and we had a low, and then we had a convection, and then it'd be a different story. We had some healthier outflow, but looks like we're not quite having that. But like I said, the ocean temperature. So if you look at the current storm location, at least as of, so our current storm location, the National Hurricane Center actually put it at about 15 degrees north latitude. So it is 14 and a half. All right, so if we go to the Eastern Pacific here, Eastern Pacific Ocean, we go to 14 and a half. And he also said about, I believe it was 117 degrees west. All right, so you're talking about right about here, somewhere around there. All right, so you can see that yellow is that 80-degree water, and we're really starting to lose it. Once it gets out of that 80-degree water, it's pretty much got no chance. The only thing that's saving it is the fact that it's not moving that fast. It's moving at 7 miles an hour. So it's kind of taking its time getting out of that 80-degree water. That's the only saving grace. Other than that, it's still moving in a northwest direction. Okay, it is starting to exit the 80-degree water. And I'm pretty much sorry to say it's kind of done. But like I said, we can never rule out the development. The models are trying to give it a little bit of life. All right, so let's look at the Gfs model to start. Here's 2 p.m. All right, they just have a 12Z run for this part of the region. The area of strongest wind that they had at 2 p.m. was 20.4 knots. Okay, and the area of strongest wind was on the northwest side of the storm. But at least the GFS does put the low, okay, and that's pretty much where the least wind is. So they do have it pretty, fairly well organized. And then here's here is 8 p.m. And again, the wind does go up to 24.3 knots, but like I said, you need 34 knots. We need another 10 knots to have a developing tropical storm. Like I said, your strongest wind now is on the eastern side, so it's a little bit better developed. And by 2 in the morning, that's where the winds kind of peak out, 25 knots, and then it falls by then, 24, 18, and then it's gone. The H-Mod model, though, was pretty interesting. They actually did have this developing into something, so let's take a look at this. Here's hour 6, max winds 31 knots. Look at this, 40-knot winds right on that eastern side. But check out where they put the low pressure. Check out where the area of least amount of surface wind is. So they really don't put that low pressure. They don't have it that much organized, but they did have it actually at a tropical storm by 5 o'clock, and it doesn't seem to happen. Remember, this was the run from 8 o'clock this morning. All right, and lastly here is the Jem Model. Again, they peak out. They say the storm is going to be at its strongest at 2 p.m., which already happened. It's a long time ago, a few hours ago, at 23 knots. Okay, then it goes to 20, then back up to 21.5 knots, and then it falls apart. That's it. So possibly Tropical Storm Amanda, maybe Subtropical Storm Amanda, but the chances are really starting to shrink down. It's really running out of time. It's got to get going now if this wants to develop into Tropical Storm Amanda. Otherwise, there's plenty of time. The fact that this developed this early was pretty impressive anyway. So this is the coverage video for Tropical Depression 1E. I'm the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time. Thank you for watching.